tuning in. We're Julie and Dana, two moms navigating marriage and motherhood. But this is definitely not your mom's podcast.
Hey guys, it's Julie.
And Dana, this is not your mom's podcast, so we are dragging a little bit being that it's Monday and daylight savings.
Daylight savings time. I don't get it. I don't want to wake up in the dark. I feel like the Mushroom Man or something.
But do you really want 5 p.m. to be dark? Like, I like that it stays light late.
I feel nauseated. Is it nauseous or nauseated?
Either way.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to use nauseous. I feel nauseous when I wake up in the morning and it's dark outside. Like
Really?
I want to throw up.
What
Yes.
time are you waking up?
Well, today I woke up at 7, but it felt like 5.
Yeah.
Because it's dark.
I would just rather wake up to darkness than, like, I love having my nights. Like, I love that if John gets off of work at 5, we still have, like, 3 hours of daylight that we can, like, maybe go to the beach or we could go on a walk or I can go
You ain't going
rollerblading.
nowhere. We have dance every night.
Well, we do. Especially on weekends. Like, I love
By
that.
summertime, it's nice.
Yeah, it really is.
It is. I think it's nice. I don't know. I just don't like, I can't.
It's so depressing to me when you're driving and it's 5 p.m. and it's pitch black. Like, your day's over so early.
I feel like my day is over as soon as I pick up the kids from school, though. Like, the day is like over.
Not for me. That's when it starts. I drop them off at dance and I'm like, okay, great. I can go rollerblading. I can work out. Like,
Oh, see, I don't do any of that. That's when I grocery shop. But I usually work at night too.
okay,
Like I
true.
work Monday, Wednesday,
True.
and Friday and
I
Saturday.
work some nights too.
So
That's the other funny thing about daylight savings that's funny. So, like, I'm a night shift worker.
yeah.
So I go in at 6:30 at night. And on daylight savings, you never want to work daylight savings because, actually, hold on. You want to work daylight savings because then you only work an 11-hour shift instead of 12-hour. But when it's the other way, you work it's literally 2 a.m. and all of a sudden 2 a.m. hits again an hour later and you're like,
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna throw up.
And all the patients are waking up bright and early because they're like ready to go.
Oh no!
Yeah,
so you guys should
it's
have
bad.
like a little celebration.
I usually try to not work that night. I'm like, that's not happening.
I'm marking that day off for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we keep doing it though.
I don't know. I know they talked about getting rid of it, but I
Someone
don't know
said it was
why.
like for farmers, right?
That's what it started as.
Yeah, but like we're like mass farming now, so like
right.
is
Like, are
anybody
the
really
farmers really needing the daylight? And like we have lights. Is that part?
right? True, we have
Is
like
that dumb?
electricity.
I don't know what the reason
Like,
is.
like turn on these huge bulbs out there in the farmland. All the cows wake up.
Oh,
I don't know.
God.
I obviously don't know anything about that. I just know I don't want to wake up in the dark. My freaking animals won't even get out of bed. Like
Yeah.
everyone's always
It
like,
is
well,
harder
the
to
animals.
wake
The
up.
birds are not chirping until light actually comes up, not in the dark. No one's functioning.
Yeah.
It's not right. But then
Yeah.
you stay up. This bitch tells me she wakes up, or she told me she's like, oh, I got no sleep. I like got home at 1, and John and I talked till 3 a.m. I was like,
Yeah.
I told Trevor, I was like, they talk till 3 a.m. Like, I wouldn't even imagine that. And he's like, Julie, a lot of people are like that. They're not like you, or they like go to bed at a specific time and
Yeah.
like need all their sleep. I'm like, I just wouldn't be functional.
Yeah. I worked a half shift, so I didn't get home till 1. And then like I can't just instantly go to sleep. I
That's what
also
magnesium
wanted to,
and drugs and alcohol are for. You numb
I also
yourself.
wanted to shower because I was like, I knew we're coming here in the morning. I didn't
Yeah.
want to shower in the morning. So I had lots of things to do on my to-do list when I got home.
Oh my gosh.
And
Well,
I
mean,
also need
your
to be
body's
tired
sort of
today.
like messed up from time and everything.
My body's super messed up. Do you know night shift workers have like a much higher chance of cancer and everything?
Oh yeah.
Because your circadian rhythm is so messed up.
Yes.
It's crazy.
I also think it's interesting. No, I was about to
That's
say
why
weird.
they pay
It's
you
not
more,
weird.
by the way. It's actually like
Yeah,
hazard
you're like,
pay.
thanks for killing yourself
Yeah,
slowly.
it's hazard pay. It is.
Damn. Well,
Yeah.
don't do it forever. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
And we'll start feet stuff soon. I'm
So
just kidding.
please help me.
I know. That's why we're doing this. We're trying to.
If you don't want me to die, follow and subscribe.
I also think it's interesting, like airline, they're obviously flight attendants,
Yeah.
how they're up in the air all the time. I somehow feel like that's
Yes.
not good for
And
you
like
either.
the cabin pressure.
Yeah, like you're
right?
not supposed to be getting from
I
one
don't
side
feel
of the
good after a
country to
flight.
the other in that short of time and up in the air. I feel like it's unnatural.
Yeah.
Like to change also the time.
I wonder if that's been studied. I'm sure it has. I don't feel good after flights sometimes. Like I'm
That's
usually
what I'm saying.
nauseous
Can you imagine that being your job? Like always being up
No.
in the air,
That's why I
going
never
from like
was.
east side to west side,
Mm-mm.
and like not getting, like you said, like your sleep and like your timing's all off. You have to like sleep in this like fucking little stool bench they like whip out by the bathrooms, and you're like
Yeah.
up and your neck's all like janky. Like that can't be
The
good.
cool thing is though, you get to like travel everywhere, which is really neat for free.
I know. I'd rather pay for it. I think.
I guess it depends.
Like
how
I'd rather
much
have
you
a
wanna
plan.
travel.
Like, okay, I'm going here, And this time of the year, I might not get like pretty good sleep because I'm going to California, so I'll just deal with
Like,
that.
John's aunt's a flight attendant, and it's pretty cool, like,
She likes
sometimes
it
oh, she
though?
loves it. She's
I
been
was gonna
doing it for
say,
a
like, the
while.
people that are almost like that runner's high. Runners love that runner's high.
Mhm.
Like people that are flight attendants probably
Yeah.
live for that because they're addicted to traveling and they have to or
Oh,
something.
like, sometimes our husband will just take the flights if he's bored with her, so he'll get on the plane as, like, a passenger,
Aw,
and then they'll
I
go to, like,
love
London,
that.
and they'll spend, like, a day in London, and then they'll come home. It's pretty
I am
cool.
such a pussy. Like, I swear, like, I'm like not that adventurous like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna fly that much, but the
Yeah.
idea of it's very cool to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
would love to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to France for a few days. Bye."
Well, it inspires me to try to be different. My one friend who we were like go way back in the day and we used to party like all the time together and we've obviously like grown out of
Mhm.
that. We've gotten our shit together and she sent me a book. It's called I know I don't know what it is. So sorry for anybody who wants it. Maybe I'll talk about it next time. Something about being in the morning. And I haven't read the book or anything yet cuz I have 2 books ahead of it, but I think the premise is starting your day like at 5 a.m., 6
Oh,
a.m.
yeah, that's a thing.
before 8 o'clock even rolls around. So you can
Yeah.
get like so much shit done.
Yeah.
And, like, my biggest fear first I'm trying to get to the point. My biggest fear first was like, "Oh my god, I can never get up that early. I don't want to. I want my sleep." But then I was like, "Oh, maybe I should push past fear and do something a little uncomfortable and see what that even felt like." Like,
Mhm.
instead of just, like, being worried that I won't like it or I won't get enough sleep or whatever.
Yeah.
I used to do yoga at, like, 5 a.m. for, like, an entire year when I was in my
Oh,
20s.
yeah. I've done that before too, and, like, I've heard I mean, some people who wake up super early like that love it. My mom's always like that. She always woke up at,
Yeah.
like, 5:30 in the
I know my
morning.
dad too. My dad used to wake up at 4, and
That
he'd
is
do all
so
his things.
early.
He's weird though,
I
like,
don't
he
know
does
that I
that.
want
He's a
that much
hermit.
time to do things. I mean, it's just, like, a lot. And, like, a lot of people talk about that when in motherhood, right? Like, wake up before the kids wake up. My thing is my kids will freaking wake up if I wake up. I know it. They'll just out of spite, I'll be up at 4 a.m. doing stuff, and they'll be like, "Mom,
They'll be like, "What
good
are you doing?"
morning."
They hear the
Yeah.
wrapper in the pantry.
Yeah. Like, I don't
But
know.
also, okay, so when you have young kids, okay, I love it. Get up great, get up early in the morning before everyone wakes up. But like when you have young kids, I feel like you never know. Are they going to wake you up in the middle of the
You
night? Are they
don't.
going
It's
to come in the bed?
unpredictable.
Are you going to stay up late because they're sick? Are you going to stay up late because they have homework? So here you are staying up later, waking up multiple times in the middle of the night, and then waking up early. I don't know that it's such a good idea when they're sort of young.
No, you're in survival mode, and
Yeah.
honestly, with that, like, I think it's cool to talk about the pros of our kids getting older because I think
Yeah.
the world talks a lot about, "Oh, like, like, I'm grieving my kids growing up," and they talk about a lot of the negatives of, like, right, like,
A lot of people say
missing
that.
them
Yeah.
in childhood and, a lot of the cons that come with them growing up, but, like, there are pros with it too, and I feel like we don't
Yeah.
talk about that enough, and it's like, you always have sadness revolving your kids growing up when really, like,
Yeah.
there's so many great things too, and that's
It's like a
one
new
of them,
chapter.
that predictability. I was
Yeah.
thinking about that the other day, I was like, "Wow, my kids are finally all at the age that they're pretty predictable." Like,
Yeah.
not 100%, there's still the nights that, like, Jack will wake up and he, like,
Yeah.
is crying because he had a bad
Yeah.
dream,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
for the most part, I know that I can put them down
Yeah.
and, like, they all sleep through the night until the morning, and I
Yeah.
can if I do need to stay up, I can do whatever I need to do. I find it easier to stay up late than I do to wake up early.
Yeah. I'm neither of
I'm
those.
not not a
I
night
don't wanna
person
stay up
or a
late,
morning
and I
person.
know everyone's always like, "Oh, I'm definitely a morning person." Some people are like, "No, I'm like a night owl." I'm like, "Well, what's
You're
it
like a
called?"
solid noon.
I'm like, "What's it called when you just, like, need 7 hours of solid sleep?"
Yeah. I mean, listen, I
That's not too much to
love
ask for,
sleep.
right?
I love sleep. I honestly probably sleep a lot more than you think I do. It's just in weird spurts. Like,
Yeah, but that's not you need a good chunk.
I know.
But
I
I
know.
think just like with diet and exercise and people's needs, I think some people require more and some people require less. So I think I'm
Yeah.
like such a hyperactive, overstimulated person that like I literally will shut down and then I have nothing else from like that, you know, or in my mind, I'm at least thinking that. Like my
Yeah.
body and my mind feels
It's
shut
a good
down by
thing
like
for
10
sure.
p.m.
It's
and
the
I'm like, I
healthiest
am
way.
not doing anything else.
Mhm.
I've literally like, how
Given your
sometimes you
all.
said like you'll like sit down for just a second, like watch TV. I know you probably don't
Mhm.
do that often at all, but you're
Yeah.
like, I do. I'm like, I've never done that a day in my life. Like I've never sat down in the morning, afternoon, or whatever and chilled. Like I am buzzing around at 50 million miles per hour. And so by 10, like from when my kids go to school till now, or till nighttime. And so by the time 10 o'clock rolls around, I'm like, I'm fucking done. There's nothing
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
I need to watch trashy TV and numb out and go to bed.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm in a season to like work on myself, I'm like, I'll read a book.
Mhm.
No phone, no iPad.
Yeah.
I've at least stuck to one thing, which is keeping my phone on my dresser.
Yeah, that's
Which is
good.
why I don't respond to you guys after a certain time. She
Yeah.
says I'm a
Oh,
bad
I know that
texter.
all the time.
I like
I'll
wake
tell
up in the
John.
morning. I'm like, oh God, what did I miss?
I know, I'll always tell John, like, "You can't text her at this time. She's not gonna answer you." So
I know.
funny.
I mean, I might get up to, like, get something to drink and go pee and, like, look at it one more time, but I'm like, "Oh, I can't respond
Think
because then
about it,
they'll
yeah.
they'll respond back," and I'm like, "I don't want them to think, like, I'm not responding." So I just at, like, 10, I'm like, "Done."
Oh, yeah, I can care less. Well, like, so I actually back to the night shift worker and
Yeah.
circadian rhythm and all that, they actually say that if you wake up for a for any more than an hour and a half or 2 hours chunk in the middle of the night,
Okay.
multiple times a week, you actually have the same likelihood of cancer and health problems that a night shift worker has. It's completely like you might as well stay up all night. That's how
Dana,
bad
you're
it
giving
is.
me like, this is major anxiety. This is like
Do you wake though?
I wake a lot, but I don't wake up for, like, a solid hour.
So
It's just
then
like
it
the
wouldn't
cat
matter.
wakes me up, I
It's
have to
this
go
idea
pee
of
and
like John does this, especially if he's stressed
Oh,
with life. He
yeah.
will wake up
Worries, and then
and it'll be like I'll be working overnight or something and he'll text me like 1 a.m. and he'll be up until like 3 a.m. and then he'll go back to bed. So like he will be on like the same risk level as like I am working night shifts,
Oh.
even though he's sleeping through the
Maybe
night.
you know how, like, they say what is that thing when, like, you're pregnant and the husband goes through the same symptoms or,
Oh,
like, you're
yeah.
on the period and he goes through the same
Yeah.
symptoms? Maybe because of your fucked up schedule, he, like, feels like he has to feel
He
that for you.
definitely sleeps less when I'm working, which is why he was up last night when I got home because, like, knowing
Yeah.
that I'm driving at 12:30 at night
Yes.
or 1 a.m., he, like, stays up.
Absolutely, I think I would too. Like,
Yeah.
even when Trevor works late at Salty Dog, and he doesn't get home till,
You
like,
can't, like,
midnight,
settle.
I can't settle.
Yeah.
Like, I'll fall asleep, but I know I'm about to wake up because he's coming home or
Yeah.
something like that,
Yeah,
so
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, well
Okay, so talking about, like, self-care, though, and
yeah.
avoiding all these health crisis
I know, we
problems,
don't want cancer, Dana.
obviously sleep, which we're all pretty much lacking,
We're
I feel
trying to do
like.
better. I will add that, like, I take all that magnesium stuff,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'll even drink, like, a sleepy tea, and then, y'all, sometimes I'll, like, take a gummy, like, the you know, the whatever the legal
Yeah.
ones, the Delta 9, like, or a
Yeah.
glass of wine. I actually, as I've gotten older, for sure, a glass of wine isn't my go-to anymore. It makes me feel like shit, there's sugar,
I was gonna
I'm
say, it's
dehydrated,
really
but
not
back in the
healthy,
day, I
yeah.
used to.
Yeah.
And, like, whatever works, whatever, like's calling for you. Like, maybe it's been, like, a month and you haven't drank at all or something. You're like, "Hey, a glass of red wine sounds good," or whatever,
Mhm.
like, but it doesn't really help me sleep. But some people need it to, like, mentally just be like, "Okay, I'm gonna relax."
Mhm.
Not for sleep, but I don't know. I have a feeling I'm gonna be, like, getting into, like, some sleeping pills or something. 'Cause
I hope not.
women in their menopause and stuff like that, they start, like,
You
not
should
sleeping
avoid it,
well.
though, coming from, like, healthcare. You should
I'm
avoid
not
it.
gonna try to. I wanna try to do the healthiest version
Yeah.
of it, like, what, like melatonin or something?
Yeah. I don't
Well,
know. I
what's more
don't think
important,
anyone
not
should
sleep or sleeping?
I don't know. I feel like we should try very hard not to be dependent on anything to go to sleep.
Oh, yeah, well, me too.
And it's hard because a lot of people are very dependent on things to go to sleep, which I've never
Or let's flip that around. A lot of people are dependent on uppers to stay up during the
or
day.
either way, yeah.
So it's like if they didn't maybe take those uppers when they maybe they'd be able to fall asleep
Yeah,
easier.
that's true. I mean, we're all dependent on something to do something usually. Some
Isn't
like
that
in some
weird?
way, yeah.
What's that
So it's
say
hard.
about
But yeah,
us?
I do agree with you. If it's no sleep or using something to sleep, then yeah, if you have to do it, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You need sleep.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying
Your
to talk about,
brain
like,
like
taking
literally
a
gets
sleeping pill
messed up
like
if you don't sleep.
a regular Tylenol PM Nook. I don't want any of that shit. That always makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, whatever the upgrade is from
Yeah, yeah,
magnesium to,
yeah.
like,
Like a melatonin a lot of
maybe like a
people take. Yeah.
melatonin, but I'm a freak. I also know I don't wanna be dependent on anything.
Yeah.
So I, like, cycle through. Like, I'll be like, "Okay, I'll do 2 nights of magnesium and 1 without," because I don't ever wanna be, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, whatever,
Yeah. I mean,
addicted
I
to
get
it.
it. And speaking of like upper stuff, not uppers really, but like speaking of things that like wake you up and stuff, even like I mean, I haven't had them in a while, but like I even started taking those like focus
Yeah,
gummies
yeah, tell me about
because
that.
everyone was like raving about them.
Are
They're
they
just from
good?
Target. Like they're just like literally
I know
like
you always talk about them and I want
focus
them. I'm
gummies.
like, "Give me your focus
I
gummy."
know. But like people were raving about them. I remember like it went like viral on TikTok for a little while. Like people were saying that they really help you like focus in. People with ADHD were talking about like how great they were for them and stuff. So I was like, let me give it a try. So I did, and like I will say, maybe it's a placebo effect. It totally could be, but I will say, like the times that I take them, I tend to, I feel, be more productive and more awake. Like just a little
Yeah.
bit,
It's
just like
not
a
an
slight, like
upper.
no, it's just
It's
a
not like a
slight,
heart rate
like
caffeine, but it's like you have a
not
little bit
caffeine.
more focused,
Yes,
right?
it's just a slight like
Mhm.
thing where I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get this done and this," like whatever.
So I follow the medical medium. I've followed him for years, and so I don't really like pay
I
attention to
haven't
stuff
heard that name in
anymore.
so long. I
I
feel like he was
know.
so big for a while and then he
Right.
disappeared.
I will say when I was juicing the celery juice every morning, it really helped
Mhm.
with like brain fog.
Mhm.
So, but you have to like sort of be clean about like your diet and everything you're doing from the get-go. And so
Yeah.
yeah, if you're cleaning out your diet, if you're not drinking coffee, if you're doing all the things and you're resetting your body to function however it needs to naturally without fight or flight or without taking sleeping aid or whatever, like you do get to a good middle ground and then you just add like something nutritious on top and it's like, "Oh wow, I finally feel good." It's like, "Yeah, because you fucking started like taking care of yourself and not using all these things to make you feel better."
Yeah, and, like, any time that you have,
But
like,
like,
good
how do you
nutrition, you're gonna feel better
I
too. I mean,
know.
whether
It's
you're
just hard to
juicing or
keep that.
even just eating clean, I mean, regardless, you'll
Yeah.
probably feel much better. It's like the people who are like, "Oh, I feel so much better on a carnivore diet or on a keto diet or on a this." It's probably not that you're just eating meat or that you're not eating bread or all
Yeah.
this stuff. It's that you're no longer eating packaged processed
Mhm.
food.
Yeah.
You could add in, I'm sure, your fruits and vegetables and you'd still feel
Yeah,
good.
I
But it's the
agree.
first time that you took out all the processed
Yep.
food probably and you're like, "Oh, I feel great."
Yep.
I don't
Yeah.
know, that's my opinion.
I do too.
I don't know how
Juicing
people
not as in
literally
like
eat
that's the
just
only
meat.
thing I ate. It was just I would start it was like my coffee. So it was like I had
Yeah.
my lemon
Yeah,
water
yeah.
and then the celery juice and I was
I
like,
did it
"Oh,
for,
wow."
like, a hot sec, and I was like, "This
You
shit
don't
is
like celery though, right?
nasty." I love celery.
You don't like celery juice though, right?
No, fuck that.
Yeah, it's
That shit's
gross.
gross. I don't
I
wanna
do
drink
just
it liquefied.
I just do a straw and I just chug it.
That's what I had to do. I had to take it like I was, like, chugging, like,
Yeah.
a shot, but,
I
like, multiple.
eventually got used to it, but
And
yeah,
then
I'm
I tried
pretty
the apple do you remember the apple cider vinegar trend?
yes, but
Where
that's
people
so
were
bad
doing
for you.
that?
Vinegar is not good for your body.
I was trying that. I was like, "Ugh."
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a scientist or a doctor. Just after years of research, some people are saying it was good in like medical medium, and other people say it's like really bad to put that sort of like acidic like intensity. It does something to you, and I don't know the facts like all about it.
Mm,
I just read that wasn't like that good for you. It's good for
yeah.
your hair though. Have you ever done that rinse, apple cider vinegar rinse? My hair is so clean afterwards.
Interesting. Yeah,
Oh,
that
you've
shit
never done
tastes
it?
bad, though.
Trevor won't let me sleep with him though when I do
Yeah,
it.
it's nasty smelling,
He's
it's
like, "Your hair
nasty
smells
tasting.
disgusting." I'm like, "I love the smell of vinegar."
Me too, vinegar. This that is apple cider vinegar is not normal vinegar.
I like it. I like the smell
That
of
is
it.
no, like, balsamic or
Yeah, that
anything.
I feel like I like how you say balsamic.
That's no balsamic.
Oh my gosh, I feel like that's more intense.
Oh, I love that smell, but, like, apple cider vinegar has this, like ew, my mouth's, like, watering out of
Fermented.
grossness. Yeah, like, fermented. I hate fermented smells, and I hate fermented anything, really. I hate
Yeah.
fermented, like, kombucha.
Yeah. How is that good for you?
Blech.
How is fermentation good for you though? Like,
It's
wouldn't it
something
be
about
bad?
no, it
It's
has a
like
lot of
things are rotting and you're supposed to put that in your
it
body.
has a lot of probiotics and live
Okay.
stuff in it that's really good for your gut flora, which is why, like, when you
Right.
take antibiotics, your gut is, like, so damaged from that because it
Yeah,
kills
but do
off
you really
everything.
think in a yogurt or in kombucha, like you can keep what's it called again? Like live cultures alive in that bottle. It's gone like so one of my friends
Yeah,
who's actually a
I think it
molecular like
is.
not molecular biologist. She's some sort of biologist.
Uh-huh.
And she's like all she has like her own farm and everything. She's
Yeah.
like it's no way like there's no way that that could live
Uh-huh.
from where they packaged it into a box
And
into the warehouse
transfer.
where like the heat like maybe it's cold or hot outside summertime or
Uh-huh,
whatever
uh-huh.
through a truck into the grocery store however long it stays there and then be good for
And
you.
it would
She's
just
like
die off.
that's what she thinks. She's like, "I don't know,
I mean,
that's"
isn't it easy to prove? You would just put it under a microscope.
yeah, maybe she has. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a
It's
very
all
easy thing to
debatable.
prove.
I feel like everyone has an opinion. Everyone thinks
I
this
don't
is
know, I
right
just
or
don't
not
like how it
right.
tastes. I can care less if it's good or bad for me. I'm just like,
Yeah, I
"Ugh."
don't like the way kombucha tastes either. A lot of people love it though.
I know.
Do you think they like it or they just think it's good for them?
Probably
Like, so they're
that.
like,
I'm
"I'll
sure a
deal with this."
mix.
So,
Sure a mix.
some people like it. Like they like beer or like coffee. Like there's a taste to it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
or maybe you can, like, make yourself like it. Like, I remember I used to hate beer, and then I started drinking, and eventually I liked how it tasted.
I will say same thing for seltzer. I hate really fizzy anything, and
Yeah,
now since Trevor drinks them all the time, I still think they're too fizzy. So you know what I do? I get like a cup and I put ice in there and I fill it half up with water and then half with the seltzer.
that's funny.
So I made strides, Dana.
Everyone likes different like, there are ones that
So
are
it's grown
less
on me.
fizzy and ones that I like as fizzy. I want it so
Have you
carbonated.
had Topo Chico?
Yeah,
That's the most fizziest, I think. Or like that death water, whatever that looks like a
yeah,
monster drink. That
yeah.
one's
I
really
like when they're
fizzy.
fizzy.
I don't. It makes the hairs in my nose like I don't know. Like I can feel them like moving or
Freya
something.
always asks for seltzers at my house,
Oh, that's weird.
and then she takes, like, a few sips, and then she's like, "Can I have chocolate milk?"
Yeah, of course. She just wants all the things.
Yeah, she wants to try
She
everything.
wants to try everything.
Alright,
All
so
right,
what are some
self-care.
things that you are doing for self-care
Well, you
right
know
now?
me. I take my bath every night. I haven't stopped that. and I'll take time to wash my face, and it's not always perfect, but I take time to at least at 9 in the morning, like, wash my face, put on my moisturizer, sometimes do the gua sha, whatever you call it.
Mhm. I know, I
Make
wanna start doing that for
sure
my
that
double
I'm
chin.
working out. I work out, like, 5 to 6 days a week.
Yeah, you're, like, annoyingly the epitome of health.
Yeah, I am. I'm diligent about it because
It's
I
inspiring, but, like,
know that I want you gotta understand that I also teach fitness and dance. So, as an instructor, I wanna be at the level where I can show people. Like, I
yeah,
can still do a pretty high shene, low shene calypso and show the kids, and they're like,
literally no clue what that means, but I am so proud of you for
it's
being
like a
able to do
leap.
it.
It's the one that Lily does in her dance, where the
Okay,
front leg is straight and the back leg's an attitude, and
okay.
you open up and you arch your back and
Yeah,
you
no, it
roll to
makes
the
sense. You
floor.
wanna be good at what you're
So
doing.
I wanna be able to still, like, show things like that and still be good. I wanna be able to be free in my body. I wanna be able to feel self-care
Self-care
and oh,
tips.
yeah, Dana says I'm annoying. I will say that's maybe, like well, it's either a pro or a con that I relatively stick to my guns, and I have my entire life. It's become a foundation and part of my life. Like, I cannot live without movement. It's part of my hyperact it's like a it serves me in a way because 'cause I'll stay in shape, but I'm hyperactive and I have to release the endorphins. I have to work my body. It's not necessarily for vanity's sake, even though, like, I'm like, "Cool, that's a result of
Of
it." It's
course,
more
yeah.
like I need to be able to function at a level that I wanna function. So I wanna be able to walk into Pilates class and not die. I wanna be able to walk into a yoga class and not die. I wanna be able to go for a hike and not die. I wanna be able to rollerblade and not kill myself. I wanna be able to do all these
Isn't it
things.
interesting how some people and now I think some of it's self-taught and self-discipline for sure, 100%.
And I'll say I've been dancing since I'm, like, 5.
Right,
So it's,
right,
like,
right.
in my blood and
Yeah,
body
and I
and
think some of it
muscles.
is that self-discipline, but isn't it interesting how there are some people who are more naturally
Mhm.
gravitating towards, like, healthy foods, they prefer them, they
Yep,
enjoy like you enjoy healthy foods, a natural diet comes pretty easy to you, right? You don't have to work
totally.
hard for it,
No,
and you're naturally, like, desiring exercise and, like, all of
mhm.
that, and then there's so many people, I think you're more of the minority,
Yeah, I
and
am,
there's
I think
so
so.
many people who that's very hard for them to do,
Right.
and it's like they have to work really hard to have a
Mhm.
healthy diet, they always wanna crave and eat bad food,
Yeah,
I'll label
whatever.
it bad food,
Yeah.
whatever,
Sugar.
unhealthy food,
Yeah.
and then they tend to, like, just not necessarily want to work out, and it's
Yeah.
not natural to
Trevor's
them,
like that.
and they have to fight their brain to make it all
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. So Trevor and I talk about all the time because sometimes it'll be like, I don't understand why people just can't like put good things in their body or
Yeah.
why they just can't get up. 20 minutes is 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't have 20 minutes, you guys, and I do 10. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I did 10. I moved my body. I put on like a little 10-minute bar workout because
Yeah.
I'm like, I got 10 minutes. I know I
Right.
have 10 minutes. And even if it's like 8 minutes, I had to shave off the last 2 minutes.
Right.
I did it.
Right.
So it's a definitely a lifestyle change and routine. But I'll be like, Trevor, I'm like, I don't understand. He's like, but everyone's not like you. He's like,
Yeah.
take me. He's like, I fucking hate moving my body. I just want to sit. My body's not made for
Why do
like
you think
moving,
that
moving,
is,
moving.
though?
Well, I think
Do
everyone's
you think it's
bodies are made
all
differently. Like, so someone long and tall is not thinking about like doing like short, sprinty, kind of athletic like bursts. Like,
I
I
mean,
don't
think
think,
about, like, basketball players, though, and stuff. I mean, like, I'm just saying, what
I
do you
don't
think
know.
it's childhood? Do you think it's, like, the way you were raised? Do you think it's just, like, innately in
Personality.
you,
I think it's a
personality?
little bit of personality. Like some people are go-getters
Yeah.
and some people like the nicer things in life and more like relax
Yeah.
type of like mentality. Like they take naps, they lounge on the couch, they watch TV, they sort of hermit
And that's funny because
inside.
that's hard for you to do.
I would die inside
It's so funny.
to
I am
relax,
definitely,
lounge.
like, right in the middle.
Yeah, I like that about
I'm right in
you.
the middle. I definitely enjoy relaxing time. I definitely can make myself relax without any issue. I can't really nap unless I know I'm going to, like, work and staying up all night, but, like,
Yeah.
um, but I also and I definitely, like, love to, like, binge out on bad food, but, like, I
Yeah. Me
also
too.
appreciate
Give me a gummy and I will.
yeah. I also appreciate healthy food. When I'm in it and I'm working out, like, it matters to me, like, I
Yeah.
actually will get cranky if I don't.
Mhm.
But I can also easily get myself out of that mode, and once I'm out of that mode, it's hard for me to get back into it.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Mhm.
I think and that maybe that's probably why I've never, like, gotten out of it. I've witnessed
Yeah.
and, it's just an interest of mine. Like, health, nutrition, fitness is an actual hobby and interest of mine. I constantly read about it. Not constantly, I haven't really had time to lately, but when I was younger, I used to read about it all the time. I love
Oh, me
hearing the
too.
new, like
I loved all the documentaries about
Yeah,
it. I
yeah, and,
mean,
like, different I've tried every single workout, I've tried almost every single, like, diet, not to lose weight, but just to see how I feel.
yeah.
Because I was I'm rather
Oh, for
born
sure.
petite, like,
I've
I
done,
don't
like, the
need to lose weight.
anti-inflammatory diet and, like, I've gone
Yeah.
vegan for
Yes,
years, like,
exactly,
yeah.
all that, or, like, the intermittent fasting, like,
Mhm. Yep.
how does that make you feel? And everyone's different, right? So, I definitely think that, like, you've got a good mix of it, but just because it's a hobby and interest of mine, I think I keep up with it.
Yeah.
But I think for most people, once they get out of it, it's so hard to get back into it. Maybe that's why I've always just said, "We'll just stay in it." Because I've witnessed people it's so hard for them to get back, and like you said, you lose yourself in all those things. I'm too fearful of losing myself in that world,
Yeah.
I think, or I just like it too much. We always talk about the price you pay. Like Trevor and I always say, like, the price you pay to not take care of yourself doesn't feel good when you wake up in the morning.
No,
But
it's
like
true.
when we are craving a beer or eating shitty, like we'll both like be in the kitchen. I'm like, "Are you gonna eat something?" It's like 10 o'clock, you know? And he's like, "Are you?" And I'm like, no, no, I'm gonna have a glass of water. I'm gonna go to bed because I know when I wake up tomorrow, if I have put like sometimes we'll binge out. We're normal.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes we binge out. We like eat chips and I'll make like my cheese and bread. That's like my go-to cheese and bread or whatever. And it's like 11 o'clock at night. We're binging out. We've had a couple of drinks and like
Yeah.
everything's gone to shit. But we know that I feel shitty when I do that in the morning and then I'm cranky. And so over time I've realized, okay, I might do that every once in a while with like my friends and live and stuff, but like day to day, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it
I
makes
just don't want
sense.
to
And
feel
there is a price
shitty.
to pay for it all. I mean, you're either gonna work on your health now or you're gonna lose your health later.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the quote, like, everyone says they would die for their kids, but would you live for them?
No, I've never heard that.
Yeah. And it's the same concept. Like, everyone says, like, they'd take a bullet for their kids, they would die for their kids. But will you do all the work so that you can live a long, healthy life for them?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's so much simpler when you think about it.
Why is it
But
so
it's
hard
funny.
though? Why do you think it's so hard to be healthy?
I think your brain wants addictive substances, and
Okay, so
food
it's
is
like a
addictive for a lot of
addiction stuff.
people.
Okay.
Yeah. And then on top of it, I think your brain wants the easiest route, right? Like,
Right.
it doesn't want to have to work hard and
Yeah.
push. Think about it. When you're doing reps or something and it starts getting hard, you want to stop.
Ugh,
There's a
I'm a
moment where you're
weirdo. I
like,
like it.
but there's a moment, yes, and when you're really into it, you do like it, but I'm just saying,
There
like,
are days though I'm
there's a
like,
moment
this
where you're like,
sucks.
"Oh, I don't wanna do another one," and that's why people get, like, a personal trainer to push them, to say, "No, keep going, do another
Yeah.
5," like,
Okay.
and then you realize, like, I can do it. It's like everything in life, right? Everything seems hard until you accomplish it, and then you're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I did that, I can do this."
Yeah.
Me and John were talking about, like, stressful shit right now in our life anyway, and
Yeah.
I was like, "We've done so much harder." Like, when you
Right.
think
This is not
about
that
it,
bad. Yeah.
this is easy in comparison to what we've gone through and what we've been through in this, and, like,
Hmm.
it's like,
I like
you
that.
always you just have to get over the next hard hurdle, but I think that's why. I think your brain naturally tries to talk yourself out of it. How many times I've talked myself out of working out?
No,
Like, I've been like,
I never do. I just get
I
it done.
know, I'm just saying, like, like, I've been like, "Oh, like, I wanna work out today," and then, like, the day gets away from me, and I could stay up an extra half hour and work out, but, like, I'll be like, "Oh, I'm tired, though. I'll just do something tomorrow." It's
Yeah.
so easy to say that, or I'll do it Monday.
Yeah. Well, you
Stupid
probably get way
Mondays.
more things done than me because I always have this routine, drop off the kids, walk the dogs, and do my workout. Like I never change that.
I know, I was actually talking to John about that the other day because he was like, "Oh, can she ever, like, do the podcast earlier?" And I was like, "Well, she has to, like, work out and walk her dogs," and he's, like, laughing hysterical,
I
like,
know.
you do have your routine.
But I was talking to my therapist and she was like,
It's a
if you
good
say
thing.
yes to everything, you're going to spread yourself thin out. And I know
100%.
that's one of my self-care things. Like I
Yeah.
won't binge. Like that's something that completes me and I can't start my day until I know like now obviously there's exceptions if I have appointments,
Yes,
whatever. And then
obviously, yeah.
sometimes if I know like this is the only time we could do it in like a
Yeah,
week or a week and a half. I'm like, okay, fuck it. I'll work out tomorrow. I won't do it today. Like I
yeah,
think last Monday that happened.
yeah,
Like we had
yeah.
podcasts, I did like work and I just didn't have time. Like we did a lot of social media and
Mhm.
by the time you left it was lunch.
Yeah,
And then I had to do my classes and leave to go teach for the rest of the night. So I
yeah.
didn't work out that
The
day.
good thing
But
is, for you, at least your jobs all are pretty like, high level of
yeah,
fitness.
yeah.
Like, I know it's not the same as working out on your
No,
own,
it's not
but
because you're
at least
yelling
you're
at
still
people to do it.
moving.
But yeah,
But
at
at
least
least you're
I'm
still
up
moving,
and I,
You're
yeah.
not going to sit in an office job.
Yeah, I couldn't. I did. I've done that before,
Yeah,
and I decided to change my life. Am I as well off as I would be if I had an office job and have this beautiful career and
right.
like have health insurance and be financially stable? Yeah, but my soul was dying a little bit, so I opted to live a more like poor life and keep juggling all these jobs, but it suits me better. So, everyone's different.
Yeah. No, you have to. You have to do what, like, feels
I just think that
right.
you're, like, amazing and more relatable because I think a lot of people have, like, what you have too. It's just, like, you're balancing a billion kids, you're balancing no sleep, you're balancing
Mhm.
having a job that works at night, so you can't keep a regular routine. Yeah, well, I wanna make the money you make, Dana.
I have no routine, and it sucks.
Right.
I mean, I shouldn't say I have no routine. I do
I
it's
love
hard for
that,
me to
though.
have
I
a
wanna be free
routine.
like that. I
I
wanna be
know, but
free.
it is hard. Like, it used to be a lot easier. So, like, me and John, when I was in nursing school and before I went to nursing school, all this,
Yeah,
like, me and John, I never obviously worked overnights, and
yeah,
we had a really good routine going for quite a while. I'm gonna say, like, 2 years, where, like, he would wake up at 5, go to the gym and work
okay.
out. He'd come home, we'd switch off, I'd work out.
Yeah,
Or I would work out. If it didn't work out with the kids, then he would work out in the morning and I would work out at night. And, like, it just always flowed and we were able to keep it steady every single day because every single day was predictable other
yeah,
than, we were in survival mode with little kids, but it was still predictable to be able to say, "You have an hour here, I have an hour here."
right.
Where now, because I work overnights, because the kids have different dance schedules every night,
Ugh,
because the school, it's our day to day is so freaking unpredictable. It's exhausting. I can't say, we talk about all the time. We're like, we both need time to work out. I can't say though that every day I can work out at
yeah.
5 a.m. or at 10 p.m. I can't.
No, you can't.
So
Not
it's
with your
like
schedule.
every day has to change for me. And I have to be, if I want to work out and I want to be healthy, then I have to go with the flow with whatever each day brings,
Mhm,
and I just got to squeeze it in where I can. So, like, some days that looks
mhm,
like, the morning for me. Some
mhm.
days that looks like 10 o'clock at night for me. A lot of times is when I told you, like, I'll drop them off at dance and I have that time between
That's
like
cool.
4 and
Yeah,
6 somewhere.
that's nice. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
which is why I like the daylight savings. Because
Because it's light outside. Yeah, you're not
I
wanting to
have
work
to
out
do
in the
fitness
dark.
outside.
Gross. Yeah.
I have a tip though for people who are wanting to get into a healthier lifestyle,
Okay.
specifically with, like, working out, but are very, unable to motivate themselves to do it because
Okay,
I've
let's
fallen out a lot.
yeah, I know, I wanna hear
So,
your
like, my biggest
advice.
thing always was to just start for my mental health and not for my physical health,
I
and
was gonna bring that up.
the reason for that, especially if you're in early motherhood, is sometimes my brain had to say, "I'm going to the gym to get away from the kids or to
Mhm,
get away from everything and just block it out for a little bit, or I'm
mhm.
going for a walk outside to, like, feel sunshine and not hear noise for a little bit."
Yep,
Not, "I'm doing this
right.
because
Not
I
I
wanna
need to
lose
lose
weight."
weight, yeah, not because
And
that.
eventually I get there. After
Yeah.
doing that for a month or 2, it's like a reward for your brain. Like, okay,
Yes.
I left and I was able to, even I wouldn't even push myself. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Like, I'd be in the gym and I would literally walk on the treadmill with a Netflix show on.
Yeah,
And it would
but
be
you're
as
just out of the
simple as, like,
house.
I got to watch my favorite show
Yep.
and I walked for a little bit and then I sat in the sauna and then I came home and it was like my brain was rewarded. Like, it was like, "Oh, you
Yes.
did things you liked." And then eventually that transforms to, I start having, like, physical fitness goals and I wanna
Yeah,
lose weight and I wanna get in shape and
yeah.
it all works out, but it's, like, just getting that habit going.
That's I mean, like, I'm, like, almost speechless. I was gonna say before you said all that, which I think is amazing, that a lot of it's, like, people always think working out equals losing weight. And like physically, I get that, but like you mentally need to be ready too. Like your mental health is just important as the working out part. Okay. So you could sit there and have a stressful day and try to push in 20 minutes or whatever, but like
Yeah.
that stress is keeping your cortisol levels up. It's keeping you
Mhm.
unhappy. You're not there yet. And I love this idea of changing like so this is even like just negative thoughts. Like for every negative thought, you try to trump it with like a positive thought, you know? So
Mhm.
same thing. It's like okay, so I wanna lose weight, I wanna lose weight. Let's start where what can I do that brings me joy? Because
Yeah.
if the body's happy and enjoy most of the time, then all that stress is gonna go down. And then all your cortisol fight or flight, like, things that are not good, like you said, cancer ridden, like
Yeah.
stress,
Yeah.
dis-ease in the body causes disease. I got that from some other health nutrition
Loved
person.
it.
It wasn't my
But
quote.
yeah, no,
So you
totally.
start with just and I love how you said, like, removing yourself from the house. Y'all, even if
Mhm.
it's 10 minutes,
Yeah.
if
Oh, it
it's
doesn't
10
have to be
minutes,
long. I
ask
used
the
to do, like, a
older kid in the
20-minute
house
walk.
yeah,
Like,
ask
that's
the
it.
older kid in the house, just be like, if you have a teenager and a younger kid, just be like, "Can you just he's watching TV. I'm just gonna go take a 10-minute walk." And you
Yep.
just put on your favorite music or you call your best friend or whatever it
Yes.
is. But you've started something for yourself and your brain's like, "Oh, thank you."
And if working out for you itself isn't a reward, then you incorporate something that is a reward
I
for you.
like that. Like you said, watching
Your
Netflix.
favorite song, your
Yeah.
favorite music blasting,
Yeah.
Netflix, like you said, a call with your friend, like, do something that is rewarding
Yeah.
to your brain if the working out's not. The working out will become rewarding for you. I feel like it's impossible for it not to.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel so good after a while, and you do just
Yep.
wanna walk that extra block next time,
Yep.
walk that extra mile next time,
Mhm.
but like in the beginning, don't weigh yourself. Don't
No.
even look at your body.
No. It takes
Literally
years
just do it for
too.
enjoyment.
You guys, it takes a while too to build a good foundation in your body, to change a total lifestyle habit, to lose weight in a way that's going to stay and
Mhm.
not just be a crash diet, not
Yeah.
just like starving yourself and trying to burn all these calories off. No one can keep up with that. No one can keep
Well,
up with a strict diet and like walking hours on the treadmill to lose weight. Like
no,
that's
and
not
if your workouts are
attainable.
too hard,
Yeah,
you're gonna wanna quit.
absolutely.
I remember when I had one of my kids, I got into I was like, "Oh, let me try that, P90X,"
Yeah.
and I did it, and I was like, "Well, fuck this shit. Like, what
Trevor
is
did it too.
this?"
He was cursing and like sweating. He
I
was
did
so
it for, like, a week,
miserable.
and I was
Yeah.
done. Like,
Yeah.
it was unattainable. Like,
Yeah.
you have to already be so physically fit to do that.
Yeah.
Don't start with that shit. You're
No.
setting yourself up for failure.
And I love when they have is it like 4 weeks for everybody,
Yeah.
which I suggested to you, how they have that modifier. And
Yes.
you guys don't be afraid to take the modifications. I've been
Yes,
doing
do the
fitness my entire
modifications.
life.
Or take a
There are
break for a
some
second.
yeah. There are some days that I do only the modifications because
Mhm.
I'm like, you know what, I'm sore or
Yeah.
I'm tired and I'm gonna listen to my body, but I'm here. I showed up. I'm here, but I'm gonna do all of it modification. There's no shame in modifying. And I don't know why people just won't modify.
There's no shame in any way that you get healthy, in my opinion, for the most
Yeah.
part, unless it's, like, very extreme. But I will say, like, this brings me to really quickly wanting to talk about
Yeah.
even, like, the weight loss drugs, which we've
Yeah.
touched on quickly, but, like, that's another thing that, like, there are tools out there now
Yeah.
that can help people who are really struggle, and we really do need to start treating obesity as a disease.
Yeah.
And the same way that we would treat blood pressure and this and that, it's very easy to say, get your ass off the couch and work out. Stop putting that shit in your mouth. But there is
There's
obviously
more to it than that,
that sets someone
obviously.
apart, right? Just like anorexia is an
Mhm.
extreme, being super obese is also an extreme. We have to treat them both like eating disorders. We have to
Yeah.
treat them both like mental health crises.
And both that will lead
Crises.
to, death if not.
Both will lead to death. Both will lead to health
Yeah.
problems. So it's like there are these tools out there now, and we have to stop shaming people for using them, in my opinion.
Any information on this topic is from our own research and experiences. We are not medical specialists in this area. Always consult your physician first for medical decisions regarding weight loss questions and weight loss medications.
I don't give a shit whether you took Ozempic and lost your weight and changed your life and did all the things. And I just hate there's so many things that so many people say to it, right? Like people will be like, oh, well, good luck getting off of them. Well, maybe that person never will. Just like that other person may never get off blood pressure meds. That might be the medication they have to take forever.
Right.
But guess what? It's being shown right now to seriously lower cardiovascular disease, seriously lower certain types of cancer,
Yeah.
seriously lower. Like it is if it's helping them stay healthy, then, like, it is what it is. They may have to be on it forever.
Yeah.
Maybe they can come off of it. Maybe they can train their brain and they can literally
But like let's
create a
not
new
worry about
relationship.
that.
But yes, exactly. Let's just
Like that's your one thing to say to somebody, good luck getting off of it. How about like I hope your weight loss journey and your new life is like amazing.
yeah.
And I can't wait to see what it
Or
brings
like you
you or
took the easy
whatever.
way out, which you hear with surgery a lot too, and
Yeah.
it's like losing weight and changing your entire life is not easy. Like we just need to stop calling it easy.
Yeah.
Like yes, maybe you went the traditional route and
Right.
that was
It worked.
hard. But
Right.
that's okay to say that your journey was hard. It doesn't mean someone else's journey was easy. Is it
Yeah.
a tool? Yes, but like you can still overeat on it. You could still not work out on it. I'm sure many people don't. So like if
Right.
someone is still putting in the work and doing everything, it doesn't mean they took the easy way out. They just used a tool to help them push
And like mind
past.
your own business. Like, okay,
Well, yeah.
what's it to you if someone did something easier than you did?
Yeah.
Like like do you and let them like who cares if they did the
It's
easy
the same
way?
way people get mad at people who get rich or famous
Yeah.
or this or that. It's like if someone else,
We
it's the
all are
way
on a
that you
different
think you
journey.
have to, yeah, you all have to suffer.
Yeah, they
Like
want you to suffer
they
with
want you to
them.
suffer like they
I
did.
only need Trevor to suffer with me. I
Yeah.
don't need everyone else to suffer.
I don't know. I don't get it. But I mean, I've had all positive experiences so far. I'm on Wegovy. I've taken it since May, so we're coming up on
Yeah.
just shy of a
I do
year.
want to ask you this, which I've never asked you before. Are there any, and this is like no
Yeah, yeah,
judgment,
yeah.
it's just like someone that drinks coffee every single
Yeah.
day. Like, I could judge them. Like, okay, the way you were saying, like, oh, when you get off it, it's like, okay, well, you do things too. to make
Mhm.
it through the day. Like
Correct.
you do whatever you eat, you drink your coffee, you do all the things that you do. So just because someone's taking shots for them to lose weight, like we're all in our own
Yeah.
little piece. But are there long-term side effects that you personally are worried about, or even short-term side effects that you've seen that you're like, I kind of don't like that, but I mostly like my results. So that's a small price to
Yeah,
pay.
so, like, any medication is gonna have side effects,
I
right?
know you talked about that.
So,
Anything that you do learn time when you're like,
anything.
don't do the sleeping pill if
Right.
you cannot do it. So what are some of the things that you might be
So,
fearful
like,
of?
my goal is to come off of it eventually, but that's just my mind saying the same way I just said to you with, like, sleeping pills, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't wanna be dependent on something forever.
Sure.
However, I also would never shame someone who needed it. Just like I said to you, if you
Yeah.
have to choose, if you literally can't sleep, your body doesn't know how to, and you have to choose between sleep and not sleep, take the sleeping pills, right?
Yeah.
So, same with me. I feel like if you have to choose between you can't maintain a healthy weight and healthy lifestyle without it, or then take it forever.
Yeah.
I think I can. I think I can handle all of it without it. But anyway, long-term side effects. Yeah, so there's a few. There's studies that show a very, very slight, which everyone loves to talk about,
Yeah.
very, very slight increased risk for a very rare specific type of thyroid cancer.
Okay.
So far, it hasn't been found in one human. It's
Okay.
only been found in mice. Mice have a different makeup of the
And
thyroid.
metabolism too.
So is it
They
even
have a different.
possible? Yeah, and they were being given human doses in some
Yeah.
forms. So right now, that's not even a concern of mine, but it is a
Everything
possibility.
causes cancer.
Yeah, it is a possibility for sure. So I would just say, make sure you're always feeling your thyroid and
Get it checked
get
out.
it checked out. Yeah. And then that's like the biggest long-term side effect that they've talked about.
Okay.
Short-term side effects, it's a lot of GI issues.
What
So
is that?
it could be constipation or diarrhea.
Oh, interesting.
And then one major one, which is scary, is
Okay.
gastric paralysis.
Okay.
So like your stomach's not working, you're not able to empty, it just like paralyzes. And
Why though?
it's because what the medication does is it slows your emptying. And that's why it keeps you full longer. So it's actually slowing the
Oh,
intestines
interesting.
down a
Oh, yeah,
bit.
I would definitely see. I already only go like once a day, and that's with my magnesium and my celery. So
Yeah.
like,
Once a
I,
day is good though.
well, that's because I'm taking all these things to like make sure it's happening.
Yeah.
Like magnesium citrate, like definitely cleans you like
Oh,
out.
for sure.
And I take like 4 of those like
Yeah.
at night with my other kind. Anyway, so I would definitely be nervous that if I got off there, that my body got used to not being able to push out poop.
But some people are the opposite. They just empty. Like it could go either way.
Yeah.
So that one's a little scary. Again, it's super rare though.
Okay.
And with every good thing comes some side
Yeah.
effects.
You just have to know that.
It's just is what it is. So I pay attention and I know like if I didn't go for a little while, I'm like, okay, like I make note of it. Like you just have to pay attention to your body. That's
You
it.
really do.
And guess what? You could actually get that gastric paralysis from many things. Type 1 diabetics are at a high risk for it. Like
Oh.
there's many things in life, or it could just happen. It
Yeah.
could just happen. So it's like, it's also did something cause it or was it going to happen either way? And, were you prone to it regardless? Who knows,
Again, if you never lost the weight, there be other problems though.
Yeah. And that's so funny. So another big thing with weight loss meds is people are like, well, it's so new. Like we don't know anything about it. Wait till 20 years. A lot of these meds have been around for that long. A lot of them
Oh,
have been
yeah.
around, but they were for diabetics. If
Mhm.
it didn't affect a diabetic, if it didn't kill a diabetic, if it didn't cause like major disease or whatever to the diabetic, it's not going to do that to a regular person just because you have diabetes. All it's doing is it's helping your insulin levels stay pretty steady.
Mhm.
So, women, a lot of us have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. And these meds that makes you very insulin resistant,
Okay.
which is why you tend to gain weight very easily and it's hard to lose weight. A lot of these meds are keeping people with PCOS like me have insulin levels to be very steady. And that is like game changing. That's game
Yeah.
changing. They used to
Are
throw
you
people
born with
on.
something like that? Or does
It's
that happen
there
over
is a
time
genetic,
because you
but
got overweight?
no, PCOS does have a genetic component, and
Okay.
it's usually diagnosed before you even have babies. It's very often diagnosed in like your late teens, early 20s. Not always, obviously,
Yeah.
it can be diagnosed whenever, but that's like a common time. So,
Okay.
it's yeah.
I just feel like those people that are like, "Oh, well, this and that." It's like, yeah, everything.
Hmm.
Any medication, like, so you got like sick and the doctor gave you something. Are you looking up all those side effects and like
Oh, if
freaking
anyone looked
out?
up the side effects
Like,
to
so I'm saying, like,
meds,
so like we're all, whatever freaking artificial sweetener you just put in? Are you drinking Diet Coke? Are you
Mhm.
eating fucking, fast food all the time? What about your air fresheners? I bet you have air freshener in your car. Like, we can judge everything that everyone does and say this leads to something or this could lead to cancer. Or this is the side effect. You just
Yeah.
have to worry about yourself and listen to your own
Oh,
stuff.
for
Like
sure. You have to
this
weigh out your pros
judgment,
and cons.
this it just brings back to like my daughter. She was saying like she was having troubles with some of the friends at school and stuff. And I'm like, well, what is it that you do? She's like, well, I want to be included. I'm like, you can't. And she's like, well, and also I try to tell people like if they're not doing the right thing that the teacher wanted me to do, like stay in line or whatever. I'm like, but
Mhm.
Freya, no one's asking for your help. You don't want to be the know-it-all.
Yeah.
No one's asking for your help. And I'm like, you really only help if someone looks at you straight in the face and says like, I need help with this.
Yeah.
So same thing with these people are so opinionated, which
Yeah.
I know I'm an opinionated person too. But like on this topic, like a friend or a relative, like unless they specifically looked at you and said, like, what do you think? I don't really think that you should be pushing your judgment on them
Well, the
about,
other problem is most of the people that are giving their opinions haven't researched it.
yeah,
They don't know
or
what they're
what
talking
they've looked
about.
at
They've
is like
seen
an
like
extreme.
they've seen like
That's
the
how I feel
2
about
side
like
effects.
political stuff. People will watch, like, especially like
Yeah.
younger people. And I
Yeah.
only know because I have a stepdaughter. And like, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I would have been the same way.
100%.
I
We
would have
all
seen
are,
something
yeah.
on social media had we had it then and been passionate about a few clips that I saw.
Yes.
And I would have taken
Yes.
all my knowledge and my passion in that one direction. It's like, and what is research anymore? Who are the people researching it? Who are the people who, the medical, whatever, who are they owned by? Who's paying them? Who's paying
Mhm.
like Harvard Medical School and stuff like that? Like who, what I mean? How do we know that any of this quote unquote research, who do you really believe? That's why you have to go back to yourself and be like, how does my body feel? How am I taking to it or whatever? And we can only do as good as we can do based on like what we know, a little bit of research, obviously some guidance from our healthcare providers because they should know. But in the end, no one really knows.
Mhm.
We don't know the future. We can only go with a little bit of like statistics. And then I don't know that I trust everyone either.
Yeah. I
So you
mean,
have
there's
to just,
definitely
it's
a
all like
level.
sort of a
Yeah.
gamble of it all.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of the research you have to have like blind research. So like you're not allowed
Yeah.
to know who took the med or who didn't. Like
Yeah.
I got to be a part of a lot of that when we were in school and stuff, and it's kind
That's
of cool. Like
cool.
some of the researchers truly don't know.
Yeah.
So they
Okay.
have to go into it really unbiased. Now I'm not saying I'm sure there are areas where there is money and this and that. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure I'm not naive to that, but I think overall we've increased people's lifespans a lot. I've seen how we can keep people alive. Like I mean, there is something to that science and that research that's been there.
That's
I
neat.
mean, the facts are facts. Like
Here's another question
people used
though.
to die of the cold.
Do we want to live that much longer? Like how much are we adding to our lives, like years wise? Not talking about the weight loss. It just made me think
Yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
how like we want to stay a little bit, want to stay alive younger for our
Yeah.
kids, and stay healthy. But like I don't know that 95 years old to 100, I'm going to want those extra 5 lives. I do not want to live past like
So,
90.
yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
think I
listen, like the
do.
lifespan used to be what, 40? Like I mean, like
I
you're
know.
talking you'd be
I
at your
know.
on death's door
I know. Do you
back
want
in
to?
the
But
day.
I'm asking you personally. Do you want to live older? Like, do you want to
I
be
think
100?
I care more about my quality of life.
That's
I
what I
have seen
mean.
100-year-olds pop out of their bed, take themselves to the bathroom, go into the physical therapy gym and do their thing and come back and visit with their kids. Yeah, if that's my life, sure.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
my quality matters more than my age. However, I've also seen 60-year-olds who are, not able to do anything anymore and they are slowly like
Why do you think that
losing a
was?
lot of it.
What brings someone to a 60-year-old age and not being able to do anything? What's the three components do
Health,
you think?
genetics, I mean, you name it. If they had a stroke,
Oh.
if they have Parkinson's, if they maybe, if you want to talk less extreme,
Yeah.
maybe they didn't keep their body healthy and work out. A body non emotion, like a body emotion stays emotion. So
So
like
from what you've seen, that should inspire you and everyone else from what you've seen that like some basic sort of health, y'all, and some basic new like
100%.
working out so that you don't get to a point in your
Yes.
60s where you're just unable
There's
to.
a point that's genetics and luck. Okay. You
Absolutely,
could
right?
literally have a 100-year-old smoking away and drinking her gin, and you're like, what's the secret to life? And she's like, not giving a fuck,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and
I
then
love
you
that.
could also have someone who is like, well, I've walked 4 miles every single day since I was 30 years old, and
Yeah.
I've done this and this and that, and
You
it's
could be
like,
like me, and then like 2 years later, I have cancer or
you
like a
never
heart
know.
attack or
Yes.
something.
But I think overall, if you were to look at everybody and you were to make a general blanket
Yeah.
statement, those who take care of their health, those who stay in motion, those who
In
eat a
general,
healthy
yeah.
diet generally have a much better shot long term of being able to do those things.
So why as us human beings let that mindset escape us so easily? You know, like if we know
Yeah.
that the trade-off is a better quality of life, why do we let it escape us?
Yeah.
Because it's not immediate, huh? Because we don't immediately see
No, it's not immediate. It all
problems.
takes time. Your body,
Yeah. That's probably why, right? Like this one cookie's not going to kill me. This one burger or me not
right.
working out for 2 years is not going to kill me or whatever.
Correct.
You're just like,
You get into life where it's so busy that you can't care. You're
yeah.
like dying in motherhood and you're dying in like figuring out who you are as a person and you're
Yeah.
working full time and you're juggling all these things. You know, you and I are very lucky. We have a schedule that's a little bit more flexible than the average
I do
person.
think about that all
You
the
know,
time.
like think about if you had to be at work in an office every day from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock and you get home and now you have to cook dinner, run the kids to dance
And work
at
out.
10 o'clock at night. Are you going to want to work out? You know,
Well, I
it's,
used to teach the like I think 6 p.m. class at the gym like back in the day, and I would be like so tired by 6 p.m. I
yeah.
had young kids, like
Yeah.
they were newborns and toddlers, and I'd be tired at 6 p.m. But I'm like, fucking A,
So
these people
think
just
how
went to
easy
work
it
all
is.
day, and
Right.
they came straight from work to take my class.
And
I'm
it's
like,
doable.
I'm so inspired by you. They would
Yes.
inspire me.
It is inspiring. It's doable.
Yeah,
But think how easy it is to say, I
I'm not
can't,
doing
I
that.
don't
I've
have
been at
this
work
in
all
me right
day.
now.
Yeah,
And you're still young and you're still able to move and you're not seeing the consequences because those
yeah,
consequences aren't going to hit yet.
yeah.
And then 2 years turns into 5 years, which turns into 10 years. And
Well, I'm definitely inspired by all you badass bitches that work so much and somehow
I
squeeze
mean, I luckily
everything in.
don't. I mean, if you look at, I work 24 hours a week usually. I work 2 shifts on a regular. Sometimes I'll pick up a third. So, I mean, and it is overnight. So
Well, I'm
it's more
grateful for
tolling.
the nurses that have to work those night
Oh,
shifts.
yeah.
Like,
I'm amazed. Like,
it's amazing that you do that for the world and for us and obviously your career and everything, but that messes up your life in order to help other people. Like,
yeah.
I think
And I
that's
think a
crazy
lot of
good.
jobs, you know,
Oh, I know.
I
I
truly
know.
can't imagine. For me, the non flexibility of having a 9 to 5, I would find very hard.
I know that, and I'm also grateful for those people.
Yeah.
Thank you, all
I
you.
mean,
And I don't
everybody
even think it's
needs,
9 to 5 anymore. I think it's like 8 to 6.
it really
Thank you, 8
is.
to 6ers
Yeah.
out there,
Yeah.
fucking busting your ass so
Yeah.
that we can all make this world go around. And then you come and you still take care of your kids and
Yeah.
or
I
your
think
people that you're
you're,
with or animals or plants or
I think
whatever.
your thing of squeezing in whatever you can, just like you said, 10 minutes.
Yeah, if you have like a chart seems very like type A, but like if you know that your schedule's different every day, because actually Trevor's and I's are different
Yeah.
every single day because of our work schedule as well. We have different things every single day of the week, but you just have to say, did I check off at least 10 minutes? And on my good days, 20 minutes,
Yeah.
5 days, and I can pick. So
Small
if
goals.
Monday and Tuesday went by, just get it done Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like just get it done somewhere in there,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
I
Hopefully,
think that's good advice.
hopefully. I need advice on like healthy snack. What do we do when there's no food in our house and you want to reach for the processed food because it's the easiest thing and there's just like nothing? Like there's no leftovers you can eat. There's nothing healthy in the fridge. Like what do you do?
So hard.
It is because that's what my problem is. I do relatively well, and then here comes 10 o'clock at night. I'm
Yeah.
tired. Like I think I've eaten dinner. I'm not think I know I've eaten dinner stuff, but I'm craving something else. And there's nothing but shit food in there, like my
Yeah.
kids eat, and that's what I'll reach for. Like, what do you do with that like late night craving? Or I guess it could be an any day craving.
I usually will try to brush my teeth and go to bed.
Oh,
But if not, if I was like
that's good advice to
genuinely
brush your teeth
hungry,
instead, because
oh
then you
yeah,
don't
brush
want to
my teeth and
rebrush
go to
them.
bed. Like then I'm like,
I like that
whatever.
little tidbit.
But if I genuinely am hungry, like I need to eat something,
I'm not talking about hunger. I'm talking about a craving, but I want to hear what you
okay,
do.
well, like even a craving, right? Like so, like I used to make like those energy balls a lot,
Yeah,
which is just like granola chocolate chips, a little bit of honey and peanut butter.
yeah.
And I
Sounds like a
used to
yummy
keep
little
those a
treat.
lot. Yeah, and like those were easy because it would just be like, okay, I'll just put one in my mouth and then
Yeah.
that's it. You
Yeah.
know, it's not a bag of something that you could just
It
keep
needs to
reaching
be
in.
easy. It needs to be
It
in
needs
a
to be easy.
container I can open and grab or a bag.
I know.
But
It's
then who
tough.
has time to make these cute energy granola
I
bites? I feel
know.
like that's something I did when my
I
kids were
know.
like
I
babies.
know.
And I was like, we're going to eat organic and I'm
Yeah.
going to make everything.
I mean, I guess just keeping like a couple of like even if it's processed, like a couple of like healthier processed snacks.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. If anybody can
You
chime in, I
know,
need to know what they are.
like a little granola bar or
Like, I want to know because I don't have time to do the research. I used to. I don't have time to do the research. If someone can let us know, like, what are the healthiest processed snacks that
yeah,
you
that's a good idea.
can grab and eat? Like, because we are human, we can't cook and make all the
Totally.
time.
I tend
But
to
like, is like a piece of cheese.
I
you
was gonna
think
say I tend to
healthy?
do
'Cause
string
it's like
cheese.
inflammation, though,
I know, but you're
and
talking like you
dairy.
just said. Obviously, it's not gonna be perfect because it's processed. But
Okay,
like if
but
you're
it's pretty
talking
satisfying.
that versus a bag of chips,
Okay,
I would assume that would be a better choice.
that's what I'm wondering. I don't really know.
I think so.
Okay,
I mean, calorie wise, 100%. Like it's one ingredient.
okay, yeah.
I don't know. It is one ingredient, right?
I don't know.
I'm like, what is cheese made out of?
Like pasteurized milk, but it might say something else.
Oh yeah, I guess there is more than one ingredient.
If it's packaged, it
Whatever.
usually has to have some sort of
Yeah.
phosphate or some first, or I don't
John
know.
used to do a scoop of peanut butter. That was his thing.
Oh, I do like a scoop of peanut butter.
Yeah. And sometimes he put a couple chocolate chips on top if he was like craving something
I
sweet.
really like that
Yeah.
idea, actually. That seems like,
I usually will do a piece
Reese's.
of fruit, like an apple or banana. To me is like so easy to just grab and eat. Like I
I
did that on my
don't
way
want,
here.
I don't ever want a fucking apple or banana.
Oh,
I want like
love
a
a juicy fruit.
I want that tiny little piece of chocolate, like just
or
one,
that.
like a peanut butter cup.
Usually I'll keep like a little thing of like individually wrapped.
But Dana, I won't have one if I have that. I'll have like 5 or 6.
So I have to have individually wrapped packaged food if I'm gonna stop myself from overeating. So like an individually wrapped piece of chocolate, I would have less temptation than with a bag of chocolate chips. Because I could tell myself one piece versus the chocolate chips I'm just pouring in my hand.
Oh man, I just can't do one piece. I'll
And
be like
like
one. I'll be like, well, okay, 1 or 2 is not that bad. Like, and I unwrap it, and I'm like,
same
it's
with
not
like
that
string
bad.
cheese. A string cheese for me versus a block of cheese, I'll eat just
See, this is where
one
you're
string
more
cheese.
disciplined than me. I basically don't buy this shit because I know I don't have the discipline. I'll eat the whole bag or like half of it, especially if I'm about to get my period.
Yeah.
Like anything chocolate, like it's gone, chocolate peanut butter, all that kind of stuff.
Package is the only way I can do it. Same
But
with like goldfish.
it's-
I'll take like the kids instead of having the goldfish, I'll get like the pack, like
yeah,
the
so that
packaged
you can just have
goldfish
a little
individually.
bit.
So then I'll know, okay, one of them
It's
is like
portioned.
120 calories. Like I can't eat more than that. Or like a
Okay.
regular bag of goldfish, I will keep reaching in. When you think about it, when you think about,
Maybe that's what
listen
my
to this
problem is.
shit,
Portion it out.
tortilla chips, right? Think about tortilla chips. So like they take a tortilla and they cut it in
Yeah.
4s and then they fry it. So like every time you have 4 chips, you're eating an entire tortilla.
My
Think about
brain
how many
doesn't
chips
think
you
that
eat when
way.
you're like just eating chips and salsa and gossiping with your friends. Like you're.
I want chips and salsa now.
Me too. Oh, and guacamole.
And I'm starving right now.
But yeah, like it's so easy to overeat when things are just sitting there instead of being.
So
in
maybe that's a problem
packages.
too as a whole, is that we're overeating.
We're
and not
totally
portioning.
overeating.
Everything's
That's
on
what
the
it all
go.
comes
Everything's
down
on the
to.
go.
Even if you were to eat unhealthy, but you eat like really good portions, you probably wouldn't like. I was talking about gaining weight, not talking about
Yeah.
like health. You probably wouldn't gain weight. It's really the portion control. 1,000 calories is 1,000 calories. They're nutritionally different for your body,
Ugh.
but weight wise, they're the same.
See, I don't ever count my calories. I just think this looks healthier than this.
I don't count my calories either. Really, I should, but I
should
don't.
too.
I would like to see what I eat.
Me too. I'd be curious to see like what in the world I eat, because I definitely don't, and every day's different. But
Yeah.
I at least try to mentally and physically do the best I can.
Yeah.
And that's
Well, send us weight loss tips, health tips,
healthy
snack
snacks.
tips. I want
Like I
healthy,
like that
easy
string cheese. I
snacks.
want to know something similar to like a
Yes.
piece of string cheese. Like what can I keep in my house that will give me that chocolatey, sugary, yum yum,
Okay, I like it.
delightful, satisfying, decadent yumminess.
A brownie. All right, I'm Dana.
This is Julie.
And this is Not Your Mom's Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe. We put out a new podcast every Monday.
Yay, bye.
Thanks for listening. Make sure to follow and subscribe so you can tune in next week.